How does a fresh cut make you feel? If you're giving one, and if you're getting one.
A fresh cut. That's the point of your day. Once you get cleaned up nice, it's nothing that you can't do. I mean, you could be going through so much in your life, but once you get that fresh cut, it's like everything else just leaves your body, your mind is left alone, because your look just means so much to you. So it just gives you this oomph of excitement. You know, you're like, my points are good, my fade, the waves are coming through, so it's amazing. And as far as giving a cut, it's therapeutic to just be able to sit in a barber chair and to create a style that your client wants. As they say, like back in the day, barbers are your therapists or your doctors, so it gives them the time to just release whatever energy that they have that they need to get off their chest. And then to know at the end of the day you have provided them with what they asked for, it's just an amazing feeling, especially see the smile on their face when they're leaving.
It's mainly a male space, the barbershop, but we have, for example, more and more Black women who are getting into the art and craft of barbering. So we have Black women who are working in these spaces and sometimes even owning these shops. But also women are coming in and out of the spaces in a number of different ways, whether or not they're bringing children into that space, whether or not, you know, anything from a woman who may be a mail carrier who's bringing mail into the space. And so it's an interesting dynamic. And as a woman, when I enter into those kind of spaces, I think it does change the dynamics a bit. And I can't really comment on what it's like when I'm not there, right, as a woman, but I do think it's not as homogeneous, as homogeneous a space of gender as we think it is, that there actually are ways that women are engaging in this space. And it would have to take a man to kind of be able to tell you how the shift changes.
In a sense of where the Black movement, hair movement maybe is going now, I think a lot of people are embracing their natural styles, and a lot of stylists can't really perform the precision of hair cutting that we do in the barbershop. So a lot of women are leaving salons, going to barbershops more because you know, they can't get those services anywhere else. So I think in that sense, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cause like when I first cut my hair, I just wanted like a really, really low cut, and I didn't know if like they were able to do that at the salon. Cause like all the time when I hear about somebody getting their hair done or cut at the salon, it's more so like you just want like the little short, is it like a Litzy cut, like just a little short cut or something. Not what I was going for, so that's why I chose the barbershop.
I just feel like I can see how guys, they get their hair done and it looks dope. So I'm just like, why the fuck do I go to
Like, I want it. I want it.
And sometimes they ask you that question, like, are you sure you want to cut your hair?
Right, like trying to stare. Yeah.
And they don't give you that cut. It's like, I want this cut. And I want to give them the cut.
And it's cheaper at a barbershop.
It is cheaper.
I think women would choose to go to a barbershop over a beauty salon if they're looking for a haircut. The women that I know that do that, it really is about an issue of skill. And they know that if they want something precise, that these are folks who specialize in cutting hair and cutting hair a particular way. And also, we can't underestimate the cost. That, you know, services that take place in a barbershop are often less expensive than those that would happen in a beauty shop. There literally is a gender markup when it comes to hair and so many things that women, you know, if you take a shirt to the dry cleaners and it's a women's shirt versus a men's shirt, you're usually going to pay more for that, right? So there's this certain kind of gender markup that women are often penalized by, and barbershops allow them to get a style that they like but not pay as much money.
Barbershops are more of a free spiritual environment. No holds bar kind of situation. You can talk about politics, religion, anything, even though they tell you not to, but that's just the home base of where you go and just be free. Salon wise, it's more of it's just more stricter. It's free, but not as so much. More based by the book. Barbershops are just more freelance.
Me curling hair and everything, I really didn't like it. Even though I learned it and everything, I really didn't like it. I prefer cutting your hair short and giving you a nice short style. You know what I'm saying? This is what I really liked. You know, for me anyway. All the others, they like doing all that, putting the perm and all. I really didn't like none of that smell. I really didn't.
Yeah, as more and more African American women are choosing to get rid of relaxers and other kinds of styles and are engaging in what's commonly known as the big chop, where many times Black women will cut the relaxer out of their hair, or even more and more African American women just wearing their hair in shorter styles. I sort of look at sort of my group of friends and notice that sort of as women sort of get into their 40s, that a lot of women think about cutting their hair, something I'm even thinking about. And so what that often does is that many times that brings us now into the barber space in ways that we weren't before as clients. And so I think it actually is adding a complexity. I mean, we can think about whether or not that's something that takes away from the space, or if the hair care industry, the beauty business, and the barbering business are now becoming closer aligned.
I remember the first time I went, so my sister, like, she did a big chop, and I remember I went with her. And we were both like, I don't know why, I was just really nervous because like we were the only girls.
I feel like everyone's staring at
us. It's like, I don't know, like, what's barbershop etiquette?
The first time was actually that experience I just described, where I first walked in and there's two like male barbers, and they asked if I was there to make an appointment for my dad or for my brother. And I was like, no.
Barbershops, I think for a lot of, for men, it's definitely thought of as the place you go to be authentically your Black male self. And I think beauty shops tend to be that place for Black women. It's definitely different and interesting being a Black woman in that space. I still feel welcome. I still feel like I am, experiencing culture and a part of it. But I don't know if it's the same necessarily, especially in a male-owned and male-dominated shop, because, like I said, there is still this otherness, and I feel it. I don't feel unwelcome, but I do feel like maybe the conversation stops. Maybe the conversation isn't quite as easy and as open as it would be if I wasn't in that space.
You might deal with stuff like men who will say they don't want a woman to cut their hair. So there's still some men, even in 2018, that still have those like way old biblical thoughts out, right? About, a woman cutting their hair, right? So sometimes you got to deal with that. It's not as bad as I think it probably used to be, but you do still deal with a few things.
I'm
like you gotta be on point. Guys always come in here talking, you good? Right. You didn't ask Tom if he's right. You just sat in this chair. Come on, man.
And then after Tom cut your hair, you got in my chair and fix.
I never knew till I graduated school that barbering was for men. I don't know why that never clicked for me. So being surrounded by a lot of guys was cool. I felt like the barbers in themselves were very cool. It was a guy who actually taught me how to cut hair. And they encouraged you, and they knew you could do it. I think outside of the school is where you start running into this sexism that I had never experienced. Someone walks through the door and they'll say, hey, I want a haircut. And you'll say, okay, well, come on and sit down. They're like, no, where's the barber? And they're looking around, and you got a pair of clippers, and you have your paperwork saying that, I've done my time along with these guys. And a lot of people wouldn't give you that play. For the first 2 years, I struggled. I can't even tell you how many people walked in, and I could be cutting a guy's hair, sitting there cutting a man's haircut, and a guy will still be walking around me trying to find a barber.
I had friends that were around me and family that were around me that have gone to barbershops and didn't have a pleasant experience, especially like women. like going to a barbershop and the barber deciding, oh, like you want a massage, but you didn't ask for a massage. Like, why are you massaging my shoulders? I did not request that. Or like asking you why you're cutting your hair off, or even refusing you service because they don't agree with what you're trying to do with your hair.
I think media plays an important role in everything that we know about the images and assumptions that we make about certain groups of people. When we're talking about Black women barbers as a collective, I think that the collective and social assumption is that to exist in a hyper-masculine dominated community, you have to be hyper-masculine presenting yourself. And so just like as in sports, where the assumption is of women basketball players that a lot of them are lesbians, this is the assumption of a lot of Black women barbers, that a lot of them are very masculine in their sexual orientation, in their presentation, in their attitudes, and these become the assumptions of a lot of times of Black women in general because of the way the media portrays them.
Should there be a space for women in the barbershop?
Yes. I'm fine. It's just a barbershop. Like, I don't know. I don't feel necessarily like that I don't belong in that space or excluded from being in a barbershop. My only concern is just I don't want anyone to like talk about me or try to talk to me because I'm really just there to get my cut. And when I'm in the chair, like people, like you said, like they'll stare at you like, oh, I wonder what she's getting, and I'm just cutting it down a little bit because it's growing out. But that's about it. But other than that, I don't feel some type of way being in the barbershop because, hello, I need to cut my hair just like all of you
just
need
like
to
you
cut
do.
your hair. So
I don't see why there's a need to like look at me and all this kind of stuff. I also feel like the idea of having like a woman's space in the barbershop, it's like you said, it's just a barbershop. Whether I'm male or female to go there shouldn't be like, we don't need a like stigma against me. Like it's not, why make a separate section or whatever the case may be, like just for me. It's like, don't do that. Like, let me just get my hair cut and go.
The natural hair movement, and I guess we can still call it a movement, is one that's really kind of complicated the norms of Black female beauty. It's really a space where, if we look at most of the 20th century, to be seen as a beautiful or acceptable or even respectable Black woman meant that your hair was worn in a particular kind of straightened style. So whether that was straightened with a hot comb or chemically straightened, it was sort of the beauty norm for African American women. We begin to see really starting in the late 90s, but coming into fruition for the early 20th century, more and more Black women looking for more expansive ideas of beauty that included wearing hair in natural hairstyles.
Did you see the memory, whatever it's called? Once you cut your hair, your butt get fatter.
Yeah. Before I got my haircut, I thought like, I was scared because like, okay, my forehead is just gonna be like, bow. I'm gonna have to like wear lashes all the time so that like my face stands out. But literally like after I got my cut, I was just like, I don't need to do the most because I look good either way.
And, they appreciate like natural beauty more as
the younger guys. Especially when I have like a weave or box braids in right now, I get way more attention from like younger guys, like 17 to like 22. And then with my haircut, it's like I could walk in the street without hearing, hey yo ma, what's up, and like a guy, an actual like older guy, like 25, I would say, in the face would like approach me and be like, hey, I'm sorry to like interrupt you, very respectful. Because like I feel like with your haircut, in my perspective, a lot of women that cut their hair, they don't really take a lot of bull crap, they don't really take it. Like, I don't know, I've yet to meet a woman that
I think it takes a certain type of woman to cut their hair.
The way
that we did.
You have to have confidence. You have to like be stable.
And even
in
if you
your life
don't
also.
have it, like I feel like you get it.
It's
like a shot. It's like boom, now you got it.
That was me. I was
Exactly.
I was already bougie and actually before the hair. When I got it, I was like, I'm even more bougie now. Like, come on, you can't talk to me.
You can't touch me.
It's like
my
hair.
Like,
shut
up.
I feel like the younger guys are scared.
They really are. They're intimidated. They're not
scared.
They are not scared. They're intimidated.
I didn't holler that bikes. Part of it is how like other people respond to it. Because I've noticed too, like when I wear weaves versus when I wear like twister braids, different kind of guys approach me. And like also like when my hair is straight, more guys approach me. Like it's so weird. I will never forget, like I'm not like the very first time I got a weave, I got so much free stuff that day. Like I kid you not, I went to read it.
Cutting your hair is a journey of faith for you. It's like a journey of loving yourself, finding yourself. So why should any man, quote unquote man, think less than who we are?
There's always been a group of women who have always felt empowered cutting, you know, the big cut, as they say, or the big chop. I think recently, maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, I see more people embracing the shorter hairstyles. So I would say maybe the last couple years.
But I honestly feel like cutting my hair forced me to go into a journey that I personally didn't think I was ready for. I was scared to go to. Like, I was scared to go through that journey. It was like, I always wanted to cut my hair since like high school. Like cut it down, like a pixie cut, which is what I have now. But like you said, I wasn't around the people that like would have supported me. And I just wasn't confident with myself. And even after cutting my hair, I still wasn't confident. But the fact that I had that short hair and the fact that like the people around me were kind of like, just wear it out. It forced me to go on a journey that like, I was like, okay, this is me. I'm accepting it. And I started going outside with it. And I started liking it. I started doing little styles and then people were complimenting me. I'm like, oh, thank you. So, you know, it was like, I started feeling like myself, you know? And I just realized that hair is just so temporary. Like you said, you could put a wig on, you could put box braids on, you could do something different like all the time. For you to not feel beautiful because you have a pixie cut or a short cut or a ball cut, it's ridiculous.
My hair, my skin. I am the soul that is within.
Learning, I think it's all about self-love and just learning just to love you. And then whatever your appearance is your fucking appearance. And at the end of the day, you're a bad bitch because I'm a bad bitch and you're a bad bitch too. Retweet.
My hair.